What's up guys, it's Punchy, and today we have a pretty nice Deepwoken update with a bunch of different content to mess around with. Last week we got some nice crits for fan favorite weapons, and again, it's time to try out something new. Remember to experiment with everything new for yourself in-game, but let's get right into it. First things first, we'll begin with a new weapon critical for an older existing weapon that's honestly one of my favorites. The Trident Spear medium weapon has been around since the beginning of Deepwoken, all the way back in testing, and today we finally unlock and unleash its special and unique crit. Of course, before this, the Trident Spear's original crit was shared by almost all conventional spears, leaving it boring and basic, but now it's changed. In-game, the new Trident Spear critical has turned into a linear spinning charge, dealing heavy damage with massive catching potential. Simply outclassing the previous multi-slash crit, the new Trident Spear seems pretty powerful at punishing rolls and clipping running players. From what I can tell, the new critical is really simple with less tech than usual, but I think it outperforms the original Spear crit in terms of range and damage. After this, we have a cool new mantra spark for the Frostdraw mantra, Ice Forge. Normally on activation, this ability shoots an arsenal of frozen shurikens that can be used at range, but that's about it. With the Magnet Spark variant, it's a whole lot different after the initial hit. When landing all of your projectiles, this spark essentially does nothing different, but when it doesn't hit, there are a few new attributes. On a whiffed or missed shuriken, you TP or teleport to that projectile and throw out 3 more if the target is nearby, just for more DPS. I think it's a pretty fun and cool option to try out, and I might be using this one myself. Moving forward onto some well-requested and honestly amazing quality of life adjustments, we got some nice updates to make the Deepwoken experience just a little better. Have you ever looted the entire depths for a super long time and got a bunch of loot and nonsense that you just don't want? Well, that's RNG and it does suck, but what's worse is taking 5 hours to sell everything in your inventory, which nobody wants to do. Seriously, it's the worst. In the current Deepwoken, it's now possible to sell everything for a specific category with just a simple button press. While talking to any antiquarian, you should notice a small note icon inside your inventory besides any category text. To simply clear your bag of useless nonsense, lock the items that you want to keep and click that button to remove all of the other category, and it's just so much better than before. Making things even better, there's also a great new option to loot all from any Deepwoken chest or player loot bags. It was always pretty annoying to click each individual tool that you wanted to pick up, but now all we gotta do is click that button once again. Finishing off the major and extremely helpful quality of life changes, we got a learn all option specifically for schematics. Before this patch, having to go down the list clicking each individual outfit was actually the worst thing ever, but now we have an option to skip the entire process. Simply click this button to learn all of your schematics, and that's about it. To summarize all these changes, there's less time spent throughout the entire looting, learning, and selling process, which is great to see and better to play with. Alongside last week's great cosmetic changes, there's even more customization potential in this current update. In-game, the possibility to dye rings and earrings is now an option for everyone, enhancing drip that much further. Beyond that, for newly dyed cosmetics, everything following this update, a color hex code should display telling you how to replicate and recreate that dye color. It's possible to share your outfits to other Deepwoken players, and that's what I want to see. For even more character customization, we also have a full range of Arc Warder suit outfit dyes. Arc suits and their glow each have a slider option that can be affected by dye packets, which allow new cosmetic combos that weren't available before. Finishing off with some final map updates, we received some great new changes to the Hive Aratel teleportation system. Inside the Hive tree, there are new teleports to use, listing from left to right. You can go to Summer Isle, Miner's Landing, the Lord's Grove, Ancient Rotlands, and finally Upper Arisia. Both Miner's Landing and Song Seeker were added earlier last week, making travel much easier. Further upon this, in the Isle of Vigils, a new fountain has opened to access the Hive tree, making accessibility ability and teleportation way better to do. Finally, Fountain Gates can now be used at any power level as long as you visited the Eastern Luminance on that specific character and unlocked the Hive Gate on any slot for your account. Teleportation to the Hive Aerotel is a benefit open to everyone, and it should be once you've unlocked these requirements. Inside a small cave in the Isle of Vigils, a new NPC has arrived. Nearby the mantra training shop, a breakable wall has finally gained purpose with a merchant that sells advanced mantra ingredients. There's already an option at Etris for the basic modifiers, but at Vigils we can purchase higher tier mods at a varied price. When sparring with your friends, sometimes you want a fair fight, which isn't always possible. Many talents, oaths, even potions have a lessened effect on allied targets, which are impossible to disable inside friendly fights. Luckily, there's a new setting called No Holds Barred. You can activate this setting to temporarily disable your alliances against allies or friends, so we can spar using abilities at a fair level. Again, this is totally optional, but it is a nice toggle to have if you want to test out a combo accurately. Another small bonus is getting rid of your Murmur at Yunshul. It's a very small thing, but with a successful Yunshul wish, you can remove your Murmur and remake that build. Onto some balancing. Today we have a large focus on monster gameplay, adjusting some issues and making all AI a little bit more realistic. A few weeks back, the Mudskipper Broodlord dropped, one of the craziest monsters released in current time. Their ability to negate all forms of healing was pretty scary inside enclosed environments like Hell Mode or the Diluvian mechanism, where there's a lot of monsters coming at you, and yeah, it was very powerful. The devs listened and dropped down their anti-heal capability to 50% inside Hell Mode and Diluvian, so health packs from mobs should be half their initial restore if you're under this status and inside of these game modes. Moving forward, the Broodlord itself no longer spawns in the Etrian Luminant and becomes even rarer on top of this. I guess this thing was a bit too crazy to just wander around for no reason, so it's time to go back into hiding. Another massive change coming to all enemy gameplay is their reaction to charged up attacks. Previously, players would spam their moves and charge up high damage options, while humanoid enemies like bandits just stood there waiting and blocking. Now, this is no longer an option, causing NPCs to react and go in, making their AI more interesting and realistic. That's all for right now, but as always, go check out Battle Royale to take on the arena with a group of your friends. Trust me, Conquest is gonna be crazy, but for now, we gotta play something else. Speaking about Conquest, we have a few new pictures that I believe are part of a Hive Conquest map, and that's crazy. There's more maps, there's more content, and everything is gonna be dropping soon, so I'm happy to see teasers and I guess leaks coming out for this game mode. Anyway, that's about it, and make sure to like and subscribe. I'm close to reaching 85k subs, and let's get there. Thanks again, it's punchin' time.